If you're watching this on Patreon, then you get to experience the whole thing with us. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you get ready for some ASMR.
I don't know how this is gonna
I have no idea.
work.
Do you want to explain what the delay's been on our part?
Well, the delay has been that it's music. We traditionally don't do a lot of music on the channel because it creates all sorts of problems with copyright and whatnot. And so
That is correct.
We're just like, listen, can we just wait until we get like a proper teaser trailer or something? But a lot of you guys really want to see our reaction to it, so I hope you're not disappointed.
I kind of scanned the preview that you can scan on YouTube when it gives you suggestions. I didn't see a lot of action. I just saw like words. I'm like, oh dear Lord, like this. So this is just the music straight up. Like, so I got a little bit nervous about that because. Yeah, like the music companies globally love to copyright you, copyright claim your videos, and so I'm very averse to that. So when we do music video reactions, I ask the editors to chop it up. I'm like, I need this. I tell them like this has to get past copyright. I cannot have it have a copyright claim on it. And so we go through all of these measures to get around the copyright issues, and then people are mad because they don't want it. They don't want to present it like that. I'm like, okay, well. That's the only way I can present it without it getting blocked or copyright claimed by the music companies. And so I saw OSR did it. And so I'm like, okay, well, somehow they got it up. So I guess we'll try and see what, if you're watching this video, that means it worked. But hopefully it's a very long intro. Shout out to OSR.
Yes, shout out to OSR.
Yeah. We still need a video where we're actually on camera at the same time, because right now it feels like a scene out of Heat, where you're not sure if Al Pacino and Robert De Niro were actually in the scene together.
Yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. Hans Zimmer and A.R. Rahman.
Yes.
Working together on this.
I need proof
for such an epic story as well.
I need proof to see that they were in the room together.
Yeah, a picture, a selfie,
a video, because otherwise it's like Heat. We don't know if Robert De Niro and Al Pacino really did that scene together.
Right.
So, all right. So it says the title of the video that we're about to look at is Namit Malhotra's Ramayana, the introduction. Nitesh Tiwari, Ranbir Kapoor, I assume, Yash, Hans Zimmer, A.R. Rahman.
Okay. Shall we do it?
I'm nervous. Okay. So here we go. Since the existence of time, the Trinity rules
the three worlds.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this looks pretty. Oh! That's nice how his face just like popped out of... Ooh.
That's
Vishnu. Nice. Shiva, the god who destroys.
The sound effects is really nice, by the way.
Yeah. But... Okay. The music's good.
Yeah.
The horns. Wow.
It's a lot of people.
Rama.
That's epic, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty epic.
It's promising a lot of epicness.
Yeah. It is looking really, really pretty. I like, the kind of the blue versus the red, the good versus evil.
No, it's definitely
wow.
It's definitely beautifully done.
Just like the level of detail as well.
Yeah.
In the title.
Forgive my impulse. This almost gives me, just the way it's showing this, it reminds me of Game of Thrones.
I was thinking the same thing.
I know some people hate comparisons. Filmed for IMAX, okay.
This looks amazing, though.
But what version of IMAX? Is it the 1:43 aspect ratio or 1:90?
Damn, the music, though. All right, D-Neg.
Oh, digital negative?
Yeah. I really love just like the detail that you're seeing in the engravings there as well. And I would imagine that that's all VFX too, right? That's not like a real engraving.
All of this is real, Achara. There is no visual effects.
That's cool with the arrow. Ramayana.
It feels like a big risk at the same time, though.
What do you mean?
Our truth, our history. Yeah, you're dealing with something that people are very...
Ooh, hey, hello.
We're actually seeing something. Okay, I didn't know that.
Damn. I wasn't expecting this. All right. It looks epic.
Yeah, the part 2 comes in 2027.
Part 1, 2026. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. I mean, it's looking really cool.
Yeah, the reason why I think it's like, I mean, to me, to a certain degree, it's like, it's risky because you're dealing with something that is very precious to a lot of people,
Yes.
understandably.
Yes.
And if you don't get it right, they'll come after you.
You'll be clowned.
You'll be villainized.
And there have been some not great adaptations that have come out in recent years.
I haven't watched them, so I don't know.
No, yeah, but I've just heard, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Like it just in terms of the look of like this little title tease that we're seeing and like the images that we're seeing so far, and the casting and everything seems really interesting. I think like Ranbir looks really great as Rama, and then Yash looks really like imposing and scary as Ravana.
Right.
Sunny Deol as Hanuman. I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting. I wonder how they're gonna go about portraying him, if he's gonna be more man and less monkey, or more monkey and less man, or if they're going to do a really interesting blend of that for Hanuman. And then I just saw here that Sai Pallavi is playing Sita, which I think is also a really lovely casting because she does have that kind of like wholesome energy about her. And I don't know if this is like blasphemous to say, but when it said like the story of Rama, and I was fully expecting and Sita, and then it was like versus Ravana, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fair. But like, what about Sita?
I'm sure that'll come.
She was super important
We got
as well.
2 movies to explore all this.
Yeah.
Is that enough movie? That's what's one question I have. But, you know, as it is, this is a very well-produced motion poster right now.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen anything but those really short moments at the very end of the commercial. And so for me, as someone who is less familiar with the Ramayana, obviously, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm definitely intrigued. And they definitely gave you a sense of grandiosity.
Yes.
You know, it's very epic in scale. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's a big promise that you got to pay off now. Now, like, how is this going to, appear in the actual production, in the actual movie? Is it going to feel, like, okay, I know this is a weird comparison, but it's the only one that comes to my mind. But like, you know how Bahubali feels? It just feels so big.
Yeah.
And like, your mileage may vary on how serious you take those movies, but you can't deny how epic that whole thing is, right? And from the word go until the end. Again, your mileage may vary on how well you received it, but I can recognize just how big it feels. And then I guess to a certain degree, similarly, what's the one with Priyanka and Deepika? It sounds like Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Bajra Mastani.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like that sort of has like this grand epic kind of feel as well. I think Bahubali much bigger. And so when I'm looking at that, I'm like, when I'm looking at this, like the images of gods in the sky, and not just in the sky, but like in the clouds in the cosmos of the universe. Like, okay, what you're presenting to me is like something very grand in the biggest of ways. And am I going to feel that sense when I'm watching the movie? That's my curiosity.
Yeah. Like when I'm watching it like this and I see the amount of care that they put into the imagery that we're looking at with the cosmos and like how the universe is looking and like the detail and everything, the detail within like the engravings that they were showing, that you said was kind of reminiscent of Game of Thrones and stuff. I think it actually looks nicer than the one that they did for the Game of Thrones intro. Like, seeing that makes me feel like if they can apply that level of detail and care to a 3-minute little tease video, I would hope that that same level of care and then some is applied to the movie as a whole. However, that's a big ask as well.
Right.
Like,
the other thing that I have concern about is Well, this is specific to this dude who's Western, right? Like, I can't speak to what the Indian audience would feel.
Right.
If I was to watch a movie about Jesus, for instance, right, that movie might hit me differently. Like Passion of the Christ will hit me differently than it would hit someone who did not grow up with Christianity in India.
Right.
Okay, that's fair, right? And so, because that movie hit me. So I'm wondering if this has global appeal. That's the short of it. Like, if it, in the way that the story's told, is it going to resonate primarily or exclusively, rather, with Indian audience members? Or is it going to resonate with people globally because the story's just compelling?
The story is really good. Like, objectively, the story of the Ramayana is very interesting.
I'm not talking about the source material. I'm talking about the way it's presented.
Right. So let me get to that. So yes, the source material is very interesting. I think you're right. It's going to resonate a certain way with Indians, with Hindus, who or anyone who has a connection to this story, because even in Thailand we have a version of it, right? Like in Buddhism, it is also important. So it's going to connect to that core group of people. But I think if they do it really well and get like the grand nature of it, the magic, the drama, it is gonna feel like a huge epic, like superhero type stuff. And so I think in that regard, it could also have a broader global
I hope
appeal.
so, because there was another, Ranbir Kapoor film.
Oh, yes.
And so that one didn't resonate with people as strongly as I was hoping. you
Yeah.
know, when I saw the commercials and stuff. Like, the most exciting part for me was Shah Rukh Khan. And then,
Yeah, and then he died.
yeah, and so, like, that we're talking about Brahmāstra, obviously. And is there a sequel to that coming? Like, irrespective,
There was supposed to be, I thought.
when
yeah.
I watched that, I was like, okay.
Well, because
you know-
they really wanted it to be like the next RRR, and because it
Is that what
came
it
out,
was? That's okay.
it came out like after RRR. I remember there was a screening for it that we got to see here in LA, and I just remember people kind of feeling so much hype for RRR, then watching Brahmāstra and being like,
Okay.
yeah,
And so what I'm getting at in short is I hope that the story in the way it's told is able to resonate with, obviously with the Indian audience, but more than the Indian audience.
yeah.
Because, not that it matters, if it hits every Indian audience member and they all love it, then cool, it won. But it's an even bigger win when you hit the level of something like RRR, where everyone's into this thing.
Like globally.
Globally, yeah.
I mean, like you were saying at the beginning, this is a big task. When
It's an
you're-
undertaking.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're tackling something that is as beloved as this story.
Yeah.
There really is a responsibility to get it right in such a way that the majority of people are going to resonate with it and love it. And I really hope that they do, because so far it looks really good to me.
I just wonder how do I put this? I wonder how much room there is to actually play, Because making movies is play, right?
Yeah.
And so, like you just said, there's a responsibility there. And I'm like, how do you go about, like, I personally would not ever want to touch this story because I wouldn't want to upset people by
Right.
doing it in the way that I see, that I want to interpret it. You know what I mean? Like Martin Scorsese got in trouble for doing Last Temptation of Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church went after him, and he's a Catholic. And so that's him trying to deal with the interpretation of his own religion, and it backfired, right? And so I think, first off, you're brave for pursuing this, not necessarily for the actors, but the actors as well, but mostly for the director, because he's the one who's going to own all the credit
And all the failure.
and all the failure.
Yeah.
Whichever way it goes. It's actually funny. I think that if it goes well, everyone gets credit. If it goes horribly, he gets all the credit.
Yeah.
And so that's a very precarious position to be in. And so it makes me wonder, how much do you actually get to be artistic when you're telling this story? That's what I'm driving at.
Well, I think you can already see here with the interpretation with the cosmos and that, seeing the gods' faces come out of the space and the stars and everything. There is some sort of artistic interpretation. and it's done in a way that is really enticing and interesting. And I would say, you know, it looks like the majority of people, in fact, the vast majority of people are really happy with what they're seeing so far, according to
Well, they haven't seen
upvotes.
anything yet, though.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, right now, it seems really promising.
Yeah.
Like, from what we're seeing,
Yeah.
it looks really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I really hope that when we see the next teaser or the next trailer for it, it can build off of this and like knock our socks off even more.
Yeah.
Because like they've got a lot of good people working on this, like Hans Zimmer and Rahman doing the music.
I would love to know how they got Hans Zimmer.
That's wild.
I don't think he's done that many Indian movies. But anyway.
But to get him on this, it feels right. You know, it's like such an epic, important story. And they're like, do you know what? We're going to get one of the greatest movie composers living, working in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because like A.R. Rahman is also like on a par, I would say.
Just to put a button on the point I was making about like the ability to be artistic with it. You know, recently we watched the new Superman movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's to the same degree in India, but over here there are people that treat comic books like the Bible. You know, like they're that devout about it. They're purists, right? And or they have a particular way that they want it. And there is a lot of hoopla going on right now on the internet with the new Superman movie, which is so strange. But people are approaching it like it's their religion. More specifically, they're coming at it from the religion of like the Snyderverse. To be, you know, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is like the way that the film is being attacked, and it's not even out yet as of this recording, right?
Right.
And so that's the only worry I have for a movie like this, and it's like, how do you like? Okay, if the director is able to tell the story in the way that he wants, will his vision be respected or attacked because he didn't do it exactly how people see it in their heads?
Right.
You know. But I do hope people cut him slack. And I'm sure there's going to be a long message at the top talking about respect and how much they respect the Ramayana and all that stuff. That's par for the course with this type of material. And I'm fingers crossed. I hope it's good. I hope it's strong.
Yeah.
And I hope it's as beautiful as it's promising it will be. You know, this is a very, very big promise. You have big stars and whatnot, but it's not the first time we've seen big stars telling a story like this. So there was one that came out not that long ago, and everyone was like, "Ooh," you know, and it was trying to tell a story in this vein. So I'm really hoping they get it right. It's this film for IMAX. I want to know if that's 190 to 1 or 143. You know, they're going for Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Because there's two kinds of IMAX out there.
Yeah. It's Limax or IMAX. What is it?
You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm Jaby Achara. This is
Achara Cook.
Peace out.